I'd like to say this. Natalie Walters, I believe her. I believe her. I believe that she was telling the truth with what she said. And I don't believe that the SBA is going to let her, let that story that she put out maintain its value. And it really upsets me. I'm going to go into a little bit of a crazy world here, but I want to try to bring everybody into what's happening with the Herman story, the Herman Austin story with the SBA when he came out and he said they're going to open up the SBA EIDL grant to all geographical locations. He didn't give us a date, but he said he was going to do it. And now they are saying with Max came out, of course, like he usually does with information that the SBA tells him what to say. He says it. He gives the CNN version. I give the Fox version. That's just how it is. And that, I'm okay with it. If you're okay with it, Max, me too. So no stones being thrown here. I'm just going to give my version. First of all, Max came out and he said that he got in contact with him. And here's the thing, SBA, hey, why don't you contact me? Why won't you return my mails? Why won't you return my calls? I don't get it. I know there's a conflict here, and I know that, yeah, you don't like my tone sometimes, but please. Okay, so Max comes out and he said, I came across an article where you were quoted saying the EIDL grant program will open to non-low income communities at some undetermined point in the future. Myself and my viewers are hoping to get some context as it is my understanding that Congress would need to pass legislation in order to open the program to medium and high income areas. Is it possible for the SBA to open this program up independent of Congress? I know that's true, that they cannot open it up. We know that they need to do some legislation for this. We know that. We never said that there didn't have to be legislation. So Max, the question there is invalid. We need to go to the next question. And the answer is no, they cannot do this without legislation. That's what we've been saying in all of our videos. It's going to take legislation. We know that. But just because Herman said it's going to happen soon doesn't mean it's not going to take legislation. We got to get that straight. Good afternoon, Mayor. This is Herb. Awesome. He claims that this is what Herb said to him. This was a mistake and the newspaper will be making the correction. See, Herb didn't say it was my mistake. He said it was a mistake. Is that a mistake just for saying it? He did not take own responsibility for saying this. I just want to try to read between the lines here, people. We got to get this clear, and it's not. It's still very blurry picture that he painted. The way the statute is written is very clear on how the money should be spent. Yeah, so there was a misinterpretation by the writer. I don't know about that. I mean, we'll find out tomorrow. If you did not receive an invite, you cannot apply. Sorry for the misunderstanding. Now, that doesn't even, why even put that in there? If you didn't receive an invite, you cannot apply. Because what he's trying to do is go back to everybody steer back to the invite. Everybody steer back to, of course, we're going back. We're sticking with, the rules and the guidelines that the SBA has out for us right now. We know that. If you did not receive an invite, you cannot apply. Well, there was a way to apply without the invite, but that's okay. If you don't receive an invite, yeah, it's harder to apply. Okay, that's fine. But he gave us no clarity there. Herb is just saying, yeah, the writer misinterpreted what I said. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Let me go back into here now. So still no clarity there. Now let's go into here. What's this one say? Here, Max says, okay, then he goes into talk to the writer. Very good. Thank you, Max. Now, Natalie, get with me. I just got with you on Twitter, too. Please contact me. You're correct. We have a follow-up article set to run Monday with this in it. Last week, an SBA official told the Dallas Morning News that the program would eventually open all geographic areas. However, Contreras said the agency isn't aware of any legislative actions that would make the change. We know that. We know that there's no legislative action right now that would make the change. We know the S513 has not been signed. We know that they have not pulled the 331 section out. We know that. But when Austin said there's going to be changes, then the legislation action takes place. We know that. So we understand the rules right now. We get that. Our job is to implement the program under the current rules, he said. Let me know if there have any other questions. That does nothing. We know that. We need to know if what he said was true. So they go further. Move your face out of there. Thank you again, Max. It's so weird. It makes me almost sick that they seem to open the doors up to talk to you. But if I try to get information from them, no response. As to what Austin said to indicate it would open up to all areas, this is once again Natalie talking. As to what Austin said to indicate it would open up to all areas, he plainly said it would open up to all areas without me even asking. Now this is Natalie saying this, okay? He plainly said it's going to open up to all areas without me even asking. So he offered the information to her. Just put it out there. It's going to open up to all areas. We're just not sure when, okay? I was surprised by this and asked him if he was sure. And he said yes, but wasn't sure of a timeline. I think he was not properly informed. Contreras said he may have been confusing programs. This is where I start to, I've got to do my homework, guys, because you cannot confuse programs at this meeting that they were at. This was not about other programs. This was about EIDL programs. You're not, in what other programs did you need to have a mapping tool? You didn't. I received an email from the SBA saying that what Herb told me was not correct, and that when I asked to talk with someone about this, Contreras and I chatted for an hour. Why would you have to chat for an hour over a simple mistake? Yeah, well, he misquoted you. You misquoted him. Okay, I'll figure something out. No, talking for an hour sounds like let's come up with something to feed them that they will eat. Like, some people will like to feed us this and say, okay, thanks. Oh, now we know there was a mistake. I'm calling it. I'm calling it again. I'm calling it again. I'm sorry. BS. I'm calling BS. I call it all the time, and I'm always right. I'm always right. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this. We're going to try to leave this up, but I want to show you. Now, when we're talking Contreras, at first I was like, Contreras, whoa, Contreras is back in the picture? Because Contreras, if nobody knows who Contreras is, there's a couple Contrerases apparently, because I was thinking of this person right here. I was thinking her. Maria Contreras. Maria Contreras was Obama's SBA agent for the last couple of years and that he was in office. So I'm like, okay, was he talking about Maria Contreras? I didn't quite get that. So as I kept on digging, as I always do, come to find out that it was Contreras and it was this Contreras, Alejandro. Let me move my head. Alejandro Contreras, who is the Director and Communications Coordinator of the SBA Director Assistant. And if it was Alejandro Contreras, we go ahead and do, he was right here. Now, he was the one in a meeting that he was with Herb Austin in the meeting on the 23rd, the day we ran the story, the day after, or what might have been the day before that we ran the story. So he was with Herbert Austin during the programs, but I want you to see the programs that they're talking about here. So the participants benefited from the in-depth question answer session with the Region 6 SBA Action Administration. The sixth district is Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas, Arizona. Anyway, around that area, the surrounding states of Texas and Texas is the sixth region. So Herb, Alejandro, and Alejandro Cordes went to an answer session of the SBA Office Disaster Assistance. Both speakers provided detailed updates on available COVID-19 economic programs, such as EIDL Injury Disaster Loan Program, Targeted EIDL Advance, and Supplemental Targeted Advance. That was the topic, the EIDL. So when they're saying, oh, he was talking about another, where, what, why? Why would it be talking about another program if this, what they were supposed to be talking about, what they were keying on this day, were the EIDL programs? And the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, that didn't need that wasn't a map. There was no mapping tool for that. The only one of these programs that they're talking about that has a mapping tool was the EIDL Advance and the Targeted Advance. So don't tell me that something's not wrong here. Something's wrong. And we are going to keep digging to find out exactly what they're trying to spin over on us to give us the story, the narrative that they want to give us. That we're, and of course, we're not going to take it unless it's giving us $10,000. That's when we'll be okay with what they're saying. When they give us the $10,000, we can leave all this alone. But until that, we are going to be so on top of you, SBA. We're going to be so on top of you. Let me go over what Max had said, because I want to put all this into perspective for you. Once you guys can get this, and once you can, take it to the next level, and we can see, hey, we'll have enough information to say you can't fool us. Don't come out with this crap story thinking that we're going to buy it, because what they're going to try to do is build up the story so that when they finally put it out there, when it's big, because they know it's getting big, when they put it out there, they're going to be like, oh yeah, it was this, and they can stack their story and make their story look good. But we are not going to let it go unless it's backed by the truth. That's all we want. Did he make a mistake what he said? If he did come out and say, Austin come out and say, yeah, man, I should not have said that. Nobody told me that. Or I didn't hear a conversation going on back there about the EIDL grants opening up. I'll read this again, what he said. As to what Austin said to indicate it would open to all areas, he plainly said it would open to all areas without me asking. That's what Natalie said. He said it without me asking. The EIDL grant's going to open up to all areas soon. Or not soon, we don't know when, but the EIDL grant's going to open up to all areas. There's enough money there. They could disperse it throughout America. There's enough money there. I was surprised by this. And she was even surprised that Herb would even say, wow, he's just giving me extra information here. That's huge. That's why she put it in the story, because she's not mishearing something. And he said it twice. She's not mishearing something. She said, this is the story. This is the story. And that's why she wrote that down twice. This is it. Yeah, that's the story. That's why I put it out, because she wrote it there. They got it at the Finger Lakes Times. They sent it out to, Berkeley.com. They sent it out to CSNBC in Dallas, another NBC station. They sent it out to Colorado Tribune or Colorado Inquirer. It went national because of those two things that he said. And she's pretty much saying, he said it. That's what he told me. And now he's saying that he didn't. And when it comes out, by the way, Max saying, he's like, yeah, it was just a story. I had a hard time believing in myself, so I had to go check. And I called everybody. I called everybody too. We had people going to Texas to find out this information. They won't talk to us, because they like what you're saying. They like how you say it, and you make it easy for the people to eat. And I'm not saying that. I mean, I agree. I think Max here was right. I agree. I can read these messages and say, yeah, that's legit. That I can see the SBA and all of those people out there. I can hear them saying it. I can literally picture this story as being true. What he's saying is I can see the merit in it. But the way he spoke it and the way he gets us out there was like, hey, yeah, well, it's a bad story. It's a fluke. Let's just wave goodbye to it. No, there's more behind the story. There's more behind this. Why it was said by a man of that has been with the SBA for 39 years or so, around there. And he comes out and says, no, she misinterpreted my words. But then Natalie gives a message to Max saying, I spoke with Contreras for an hour about this. Why would he speak to Contreras for an hour? We know what Contreras is in this. He's the, what was his title again? Contreras' title is the Director of Preparedness, Communications, and Coordination, is the SBA Disaster Assistance. So he's the Director of Preparedness, Communications, and Coordination. I wonder if he's related to Maria, the ex-administrator of the SBA with Obama's administrator. Probably. But it just seems, and he does a lot of work with the EIDL programs, it looks like. But why is she not talking to Austin? Why is she not talking to Austin for an hour about what he said? Why is he talking to Alejandro? We know that legislation has not been passed on this. We get that. We know that. We are all informed. But when he puts it out saying, yep, it could happen soon, and they can open up the map to everybody, which is a disgusting map. And also, I wanted to go ahead and put this out there for you as well. I have a Twitter yesterday. Miss Blumenthal, thank you for this tweet. She sent this in to the SBA, Targeted EIDL Advance, and they sent back. So I understand that you believe that there's an error because I just entered your address in the mapping tool used by the Targeted EIDL SBA policy map, and it shows the following below. All blue areas. I want you to look at this. The lady said all blue areas. She wrote, all blue areas are considered to be low-income areas, low-income and yellow or not. So what, does anybody else understand what I said there? She said all blue areas are considered to be low-income and yellow areas are not. Look at the blue areas. The blue areas are the lakes. The blue areas are the lakes here. And don't they wish that it was just the lakes? They could get rid of the purple area and put in now only the lakes are low income. we'll give the grants to the fish, right? I just thought that was funny. I'm sure Miss Blumenthal didn't think it was funny because she's in on her fourth denial, I think. Anyway, guys, it's a battle. It's a battle. I just wanted to get this update out there to you and let you know that we're going to find out what is behind this. And no matter what it is, no matter what is behind it, there's an end game here that we're looking to get to. There's an end game. And the end game is we're going to get our $10,000 EIDL grant. So whether Herbert Austin, because he's not really the one signing the checks here. Herbert Austin is the man with a plan down in Texas who may have spilled the beans, or he may have got a little excited and maybe in the back of his mind he's thinking, yeah, I think these things are going to go out. Or maybe it was Natalie's fault, which I don't think it was Natalie's fault. I honestly am believing for some reason, when the SBA is involved and somebody else is involved, I usually take their side. They seem to be, most of the time, the one with the most reality, common sense, practicality, and truth behind them. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe. Sorry about the length of the video, but thanks for watching. You have a blessed day. Somebody say, hey, I want my 10K.